We'd been at the Enclave for a few weeks now. Just Jane and I. Our Columbus, Georgia apartment, far from flashy or fancy, but F***ck it, the two-bedroom was cheap. Plus, with Jane's decorating skills, apartment 18 had personality with psychedelic paintings and bohemian furniture. But on this cold January night, I couldn't afford to enjoy our apartment. I had my usual duty, taking out the laundry. Jeff Turner's job, you see, being in our late 20s and chronically unemployed, meant Jane and I had no washer or dryer. But hey, that was nothing a few dozen quarters couldn't fix. We were cheap, so it worked. Jane and I, all American stoners with shared long black hair and pale skin. Not to mention a shared love of gory movies and flannel shirts. I had a useless English degree and an even more useless teacher's certificate. Jane just had a kid from an abusive ex. The ex was out of the picture, but the kid, on the other hand, Jane's son Gavin, stayed a 2-year-old foreign to our loose lifestyle. Not to mention he was a nocturnal nuisance. Gavin's whines and cries lasting all through the night. But Jane and I were doing better. We had each other, our hobbies, and above all, we got by. The happiness our guiding light. Now our future looked even brighter. Around midnight, I made my way down the building's long and winding stairs. All 3 flights. The wind whipped against me. The area colder in this quiet desolation. I was all alone holding a boulder of a laundry basket. One filled to the brim with what was 95% Jane's clothes. I marched through the parking lot, through the ghost town of cars and street lights. This late, I knew everyone else was inside their bland apartments, including Jane. Struggling to carry this literal burden, I stumbled up to our white Toyota. Just my luck, we parked toward the very back. "Hey there," said a calm voice. One too friendly to be authentic. Startled, I turned around. A tall black man emerged from the Columbus night. The only other soul in this wasteland. His middle-aged pride well on display in his chubby frame, Braves baseball cap, and sloppy dad clothes. I tossed the basket up. A brief moment to regain control of both the clothes and mayonnaise. "Hey," I said in an awkward tone. My arms grew wobbly. Gritting my teeth, I struggled to hang on to the handles. The man flashed me a confident grin, a creepy one. His eyes stayed focused on me. I'd never seen him before. Sure, I didn't leave apartment 18 much, but this guy was a complete smiling stranger. And much to my dawning horror, I realized we were the only ones out here, alone on this dark night. "Looks like you need some help," the guy said. One of my hands slipped below the basket, my grip growing tighter. "Oh, I'm fine," I said. Still grinning, the man reached toward me, a flash of silver hidden in his hand. "Let me help you there, buddy." Nervous, I staggered back. My adrenaline was building up, as was my anxiety. "Nah, I got it." But the guy wouldn't stop. He grabbed the other side of the basket. Inches away from my hand, a forced laugh emerged from his lips. "No, I gotta help a neighbor," he insisted. Then I felt his hungry touch hit my wrist. The killer instinct took hold. Jane and I's defense mechanism against the world. Keeping one hand under the basket, I pulled away from the weird guy. Moving fast, I reached inside the laundry. Reached through the treasure chest of wet, sticky clothes. The gun warmed me up quick. Awoke my disturbing desires. The same ones Jane and I devoured. I pointed the pistol at the man. "Get the F***ck away from me." Like a frightened crook, the guy stumbled back, silent and shaking all over. He threw his hands up, still holding the small knife. I didn't mean to," he stammered. "Go and leave me alone, or I'll blow your F***king brains out." I hurled at the weirdo. The fear fueled him. Within seconds, the man was down the road, well past apartment 18, and off to the darker depths of the Enclave's corner buildings, well out of my sight and crosshairs. Smirking, I lowered the gun. This confident, I now held the basket steady in just one hand. I checked the scene. It was still dark, still quiet. Everyone else at the Enclave now hiding back in their apartments. Everyone probably sound asleep save for Jane, a nocturnal lunatic like me. Then again, maybe at night she'd get some actual sleep, especially with Gavin gone. I walked up to the Toyota's backseat. With an arrogant flourish, I dropped the basket straight down. Rather than a thud, I heard a grisly spurt. The sound of an occupied coffin splashing into a soft red sea. These late-night laundry trips always made for a fun funeral. Leaning down, I peeled away those first few layers. The colorful pajamas, boxers, and blouses highlighted by a moist redness. The clothes drenched in fresh blood rather than bleach. Doused in brain bits and gooey flesh. Then I saw the little boy. Gavin's corpse compressed under those blankets of clothes. All the stabbings had finally silenced him. Jagged lines on his soft skin stood out, particularly the deep cuts around those dead, innocent eyes. Morbid wrinkles. Tonight, it was Jane's turn. Sure, I helped a little, but Jane and her knives made for one hell of a team. I knew she could get carried away and be messy, but she had fun. We had fun. The murder's our passion, the kindle to our fire. Plus, the sex was always better after the kill. Of course, my duty stayed the same, getting rid of the bodies. This part used to be the scariest, but the laundry dumping worked every time. Now it was easy. A routine wrap-up to our wildest nights. I tossed the gun in the basket. Right next to Gavin's mutilated face, my victorious smile omnipresent. Calm and collected, I reached inside my flannel shirt pocket. Retrieved the lighter. The pack of cigarettes. Like the kills, I was gonna take my sweet time. Enjoy the trip. Look forward to a future of even more murder, sex, and violence. Especially now that Jane and I had apartment 18 all to ourselves.